And joining us now is columnist Ken Blackwell, a former Ohio State Treasurer and Secretary of State and U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. So, Ken, you've been in an administration before that has overseen a state, the way that they run, things of that nature. Right now in Kentucky, I mean, they're dealing with another round of unrest. It's something that isn't exclusive to just Kentucky. It's gone from state to state, but right now they're the focal point. What are leaders in that state doing right now to address the current concerns?
First, you have to understand that the legitimate protesters should be seeking justice, not chaos, because chaos cannot is not conducive to justice. Look, the president today is out in Atlanta, and he's talking about expanding opportunities, and the only way you can do that in these cities is by making sure that they are safe and secure. And that means that they're conducive to capital investment and job creation and protective of families. This is crazy when you start having folks choosing mobs over jobs, choosing chaos over the rule of law. You cannot bring prosperity to these cities if in fact you have chaos and violence. And Alex, what you see happening in New York, what you see happening in Portland, is that what I used to call net taxpayers, people who pay more in taxes than they demand in service, they're not crazy. They flee cities and they take their capital with them. And what does that do? That leaves those cities, those citizens that remain less safe, lower income, and more conducive to the expansion of a welfare state, not an opportunity society.
Not to mention that you're taking businesses out from that community that will naturally build it up anyway. I mean, even at the very beginning, I remember when Minneapolis was first coming under fire by the riots, I remember Target was victimized. And at first, I didn't think too much about it. I remember, you know what, it's a big corporation. I'm not too worried about it. But the day after, I remember hearing the testimonies of people who said, that's where I get my food. That's where I get my supplies. That's where I work. And now I'm unable to do so. I think people need to remember that these actions have consequences. It's not just a matter of whatever makes good ratings on TV, because there are some people who do like to capitalize on that. There are some people who want legitimate police reforms, but this, according to polls, is having an adverse effect when it comes to that. So do you think that the obligation of the state is to put down these types of riots when they're taking place, even if that means bringing in the National Guard?
Oh, absolutely. What this president understands is that the responsibility for safe streets and safe neighborhoods resides first with mayors, township trustees, county commissioners, and governors. If they don't do their job, first people are going to kick them out. But in the short term, they need to take advantage of the resources, the intergovernmental resources that the president is making available to them. Safe streets, safe neighborhoods, protect our families. This chaos is being operated by a group, Black Lives Matter Incorporated, where leaders say one of their objectives is the destruction of the nuclear family. We know that the family is the incubator of liberty. You destroy families, you destroy opportunity for people.
And that's not even up for debate. I mean, there's plenty of studies, plenty of empirical data to go off of that shows that, for example, if there's a father in the household, that household will be better off. If there's a mother in the household, that household will be better off. The family unit, I mean, anyone who's part of a family knows how important it is. And anybody who's lost a family member also knows how big that loss is to their family. So I think when we talk about a family unit, that's the lens that we should be talking about it in. Because, for example, this conversation that we're having, at the very beginning, it was being had from a political perspective. And some Democratic lawmakers were very fearful to condemn it instead of looking at it from a moral perspective, because ultimately that's what surfaces. People are good, people want safety and security, but that's not what they were getting very early on, and that's what some people aren't getting right now. So how do we reach an end to this violence? Is it after the election? Is it with a National Guard? How do we bring calm to our cities?
It is now, and even some of these idiots are starting to realize that they have to bring safety to their people. Let me just tell you, the Marxist-Leninists that are driving this chaos, they don't believe in God and they don't believe in families. One of the things that has made us in 244 years a very prosperous, even when not perfect, a perfectible union is a couple of understandings. We put a harness on the growth and reach of government because we know that our fundamental human rights are not grants from government, they're gifts from God. Government has to do its job, make safe environments, and in fact, protect our human rights. They don't give us our human rights.
And in fact, that's something now a lot of Democratic lawmakers are learning the hard way, as they're now behind in the polls and they're put in a situation where they have to reverse course, once again condemning what at one point they were embracing. So I think you're exactly right to say that they were misguided from the beginning, and now they're trying to make up for their wrongdoings at the very beginning of this whole situation. But Ken Blackwell, it's always a pleasure having you on this program, breaking down these events in the streets right now. Thank you.